farther away, no, I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no, I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters. I got feelings about you. Oh yeah, butterflies every time I'm with you. Oh yeah. I don't wanna push you farther away, no, I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, I don't wanna push you farther away, no, I don't wanna play no games. I just wanna call, see if we're okay, babe. All I wanna ask you is, are you down for love? Are you up for someone to be together, be together? Babe, I want your love. I'll be the one you trust. You're all that matters, all that matters.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth and not care who does. Oh, see, Rebecca's here. Let me try that one more time.
Good morning, people.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
It is Friday, May 7th, 2021. Hey, it's Friday, so, anything goes. My bad, Rebecca. Hey, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing. So we all doing black and white today? Like, so we want to do black.
We got the memo. We
apparently.
So you got, so Bubba is black and Ben is white, and I mixed it together with my prep.
Okay. I'm black and white. I'm popping the black and white. Oh, you saying I'm primarily?
I saw the little, yeah. I see it. It's majority of the color. And so I blended it in right up in here.
Right in the middle, right.
Yeah, right there.
Good morning to everybody in all the chat rooms across the different platforms. Shout out to everyone on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places that we stream. Hit the share, like, and subscribe button. Help us push this content through the algorithm. Your like can push us through the algorithm so more people can discover the dope content that we got at Like It or Not. What y'all doing this weekend before we get into the news and politics? Because the news and politics, it'll be there. What y'all got going on this weekend?
Yeah, so what I have going on this weekend, because I feel like you asked me specifically that question. What I have going on this weekend is I am going to, since, it's the weekend before my birthday. Yep. I told you guys I'm going to keep reminding you every time I get on here. But I'm going to go, I have a nail appointment because I have a performance coming up on 18th, which is after my birthday. But I have a nail appointment and I'm working though. That really sucks. And then I have rehearsals for the performance. It's going to be because it is Haitian Heritage Month. And then on the 18th of this month is going to be Haitian Flag Day. And I get to represent my culture by singing with the band that I sing with, which I can't tell y'all because y'all might try to find me and come to the event. I don't really be trusting people like that. That's why I don't post it on my social media. Oh, I'll let you know. I'll let you know personally. Yeah. But other than that, I be scared of folks in the streets. So,
I hear that.
Yeah.
Right. I hear that. James, what you up to, man?
Let me see.
What you got this week?
Tomorrow, Saturday, we're doing a Mother's Day brunch with all the mothers in the family. Sunday,
yes,
Mother's Day. Yeah, mother. So Sunday, everybody is going out of town. Well, Mama's going to Alabama to see her sister or my auntie. So Sunday, I'm just chilling, and then Friday tonight, patron party. So make sure y'all have your asses there.
At this patron party, since I'm not going to be able to be there for the entire night, but I will be there for an hour. I'm saying 8:30 to about 9:30-ish or 9:15-ish. But I wanted to go ahead and let you guys know, you guys can catch us on there. I was told by our producer, David, who set this up, that we're going to do a Q&A between, I don't know if Ben's going to be there that early, but between Bubba and I. Ben, if you're going to be there, nobody's trying to X you out the mix. I just didn't know if you were going to be doing something.
It's all good.
Because I know you be on shows. Like, you be like,
actually, I will
be booked and busy.
I will be on TYT tonight until about 8, and so I'll roll up. I'll be there.
Okay, good. So we're gonna do a Q&A just to, you guys ask us anything type moment before you guys get to the party. So I'll be there. What they call the early vibes. We're gonna create that early vibe for you guys, so you guys just kind of just chill with us, talk to us, become patrons. So your grandmothers become patrons. All of that good stuff.
Especially all the new patrons who've never been to a patron party. And just so everyone knows, this is open to the Like It or Not patrons, obviously, and the Benjamin Dixon Show patrons, all of you who are still over there. Everybody come and show up. Let's get, I think we should have at least 75 to 100 patrons in there partying with us tonight. And James will go until y'all stop tipping them.
Yeah.
just stop tipping at 10, so I'm gonna cut them out. I'm gonna cut.
Amen.
No, he always
we're not playing for free.
We always we always go. We always go till about. I'm there till about 3. Midnight. And then James, because I'm an old man, I'm there till midnight. James is usually there till midnight. Like 2 in the morning, and it's a really fun experience.
Ben, the old man, is there till right about midnight. I'll be there every time 10:30. I'll be so sleepy so early.
Look, I'm there. I'm so old, I forgot what I was about to say right now. Let's go to the news and politics. That's how old I am. Good God Almighty.
And he was like, dang.
Y'all can't cut me off no more, man. Y'all, because my brain
I'm
just
sorry.
I actually, for the first time in my life of doing this work, whenever I'm on doing a program, I actually have to write down notes. I've never had to write down notes, but now my brain is just like, it's just COVID has like this pandemic and all this stuff and stress. I can't remember stuff no more. Mm-hmm. So it's not y'all fault. It's just the fact that I am genuinely getting old. Speaking of COVID, although the United States has had its own challenges when dealing with COVID, our neighbors to the north, Canada, they have been dealing with their own set of circumstances. In Alberta, a province in Western Canada, they have an active case rate of 534 per 100,000. This is more than double the average of Canada and among the worst COVID rates in the world. One recent poll found that Alberta found that 75% believed that the head of Alberta was doing a poor job handling the pandemic, but not because they have been too lax, but because they have been too aggressive in their lockdown measures. I want you to get that. Despite this tremendous outbreak that's happening, they believe that the leader has done a poor job because they've done too much to try to stop the spread. So it's not just the ignorance in the United States that is going to destroy us. It's also the ignorance to the north. Much like in many parts of the U.S., many Canadians in Alberta can be found attending, quote, no more lockdown rallies. Switching gears a little bit, after the Biden administration announced its support for the trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights, TRIPS, waivers at the World Trade Organization earlier this week, Angela Merkel, the German government announced on Thursday that they would continue to oppose waivers and allow other countries to create domestic generic versions of vaccines. So the Angela Merkel has come out in opposition to what President Biden just said. A government spokesperson said the, quote, protection of intellectual property is a source of innovation and that TRIPS waivers would have significant implications for vaccine production. Speaking of future vaccine productions. These are the same points that BIO, a lobbying group that represents vaccine makers like Moderna and Pfizer, said in a recent press conference condemning Biden's announcement. Echoing Merkel's government positions, they said the following, quote, this decision will act as a disincentive to companies to respond to the next pandemic. That sounds a lot like a threat. While the pharmaceutical companies are throwing a hissy fit on Fox News, Tucker Carlson has doubled down on his vaccine denialism. And in fact, he has escalated it. And this is what's being played to the largest audience on television, claiming that COVID-19 vaccine campaign is the deadliest vaccination campaign in U.S. history. I want us to pause and take a look at this absurd clip from Wednesday's show.
After getting the shot in 4 months during a single vaccination campaign than from all other vaccines combined over more than a decade and a half. Chart that out. It's a stunning picture. Now, the debate is over what it means. Again, there's a lot of criticism of the reporting system. Some people say, well, it's just a coincidence that someone gets a shot and then dies, possibly from other causes. No one really knows is the truth. We spoke to one physician today who actively treats COVID patients. He described what we're seeing now as the single deadliest mass vaccination event in modern history. Whatever is causing it, it is happening as we speak. So you'd think that someone in authority might want to know what it is, what's going on. If the vaccine injury reporting system is flawed, and clearly it is flawed, why hasn't it been fixed? And more to the point, why has there not been an independent vaccine safety board impaneled to assess what is happening and reassure people who stumble across official government numbers on the internet? But amazingly, none of that has been done. No one even mentions the numbers. And in fact, you're not allowed to. You'll be pulled off the internet if you do. The people in charge do not acknowledge them. Instead, they warn us about what might happen if we don't take the vaccine. Here's Joe Biden.
Now, before we continue, I want you to take note that he did not mention the name of the doctor he spoke to. He just said he spoke with a doctor. That's how propaganda works. But this particular set of propaganda that's coming from Tucker Carlson is extremely, extremely dangerous because he is adding to the fire of the anti-vax movement. Now, in this segment, as it continued, he claimed that 30 people a day are dying from COVID-19 from the vaccine. Right, without acknowledging that the statistics that he's using relies on self-reporting with zero verification, and it's not considered to be accurate data. I want to emphasize that the entire segment that he just did, which broadcasted to 3 million plus people, to a group of people who already don't want to wear masks, but they want to open up, and now they are looking for an excuse to not get the vaccination because this entire thing has been politicized. He just gave them data from non-scientific sources, from people reporting saying that, yeah, that person died from the vaccine. And he broadcasted that as if it was a statistically significant scientific fact to 3 million people during the middle of a damn pandemic. Let's take a look at this last portion.
In late December of 2020 and last month, a total of 3,362 people apparently died after getting the COVID vaccine in the United States. 3,362. That's an average of roughly 30 people every day. So what does that add up to? By the way, that reporting period ended on April 23, and we don't have numbers past that, not quite up to date. But we can assume that another 360 people at that rate have died in the 12 days since. So you put it all together, and that is a total of 3,722 deaths. That's almost 4,000 people who died after getting the COVID vaccines. The actual number is almost certainly higher than that, perhaps vastly higher than that. The data we just cited come from the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, VAERS. VAERS is managed by the CDC and the FDA. VAERS has received a lot of criticism over the years, some of it founded. Some critics have argued for a long time that VAERS undercounts vaccine injuries. A report submitted to the Department of Health and Human Services in 2010 concluded that, quote, fewer than 1% of vaccine adverse events are reported by the VAERS system, fewer than 1%. So what is the real number of people who apparently have been killed or injured by the vaccines? Well, we don't know that number. Nobody does, and we're not going to speculate about it on this show. But it's clear that what is happening now, for whatever reason, is not even close to normal. It's not even close to what we see in previous years with previous vaccines. Most vaccines are not accused of killing large numbers of people. The Menveo vaccine, for example, is given to people around the world, often children, to prevent bacterial meningitis. In this country, only one person died from that vaccine in the entire period between 2010 and 2015. One. So compare that to what is happening now with the coronavirus rollout. In just the first 4 months of this year, the U.S. government has recorded more deaths after COVID vaccinations than from all other vaccines administered in the United States between mid-1997 and the end of 2013.
Oh my God. So do you notice, James and Rebecca, how he said, I'm not going to speculate in the middle of him doing all of this gross speculation, right? And then he put up the system. This is a self-reporting system, but it's not a system that is verified by the CDC. It's not a system that is verified and gone and researched, right? The numbers that he's throwing out there. So getting out of the minutia of the details of his lies, what he's saying is literally going to get more people killed because they're not going to get the vaccine at this point. And I just can't believe it that a guy who already got the vaccine, this Tucker Carlson has the vaccine. He's now encouraging his audience to not get the vaccine. But when we confront him with that, he's going to say, oh, I never encouraged it. I was just trying to give them I was trying to give them the information. He has been vaccinated. Yes.
And he is encouraging people not to be vaccinated. It's very telling. It's very, very telling. And it's not even and this is what I was saying yesterday. They do these really deep, long monologues. They grab whatever they can grab that says studies show, not saying where the studies came from. Experts say, not saying who the expert was. That's what their go-to is because they have these platforms and they are professionals. So, Tucker Carlson, we've been covering him like he's Donald Trump 2016. But it's because his voice is one of the biggest voices right now. And especially when it comes to, like you said, Ben, with this pandemic, you're giving misinformation, you're giving information with holes in it, and people are going to believe everything. They're going to stick to every word you say just because it came from you, Tucker Carlson, who people put their hopes in and definitely confide in for information. So he is going to be responsible for a lot of people being possibly dead. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know which way I can put it, but a lot of people are going to go by his rhetoric. A lot of people are going to be home miserable with their kids, or not home. They're going to be sending their kids off to school and then having to have their kids come home because their kid chose not to wear a mask or whatever and was being an anti-masker in the middle of school, like stuff like that. So it's going to be those kind of things that we see. But Tucker Carlson now has grown from the beginning of the pandemic when they were all at Fox News sitting 6 feet away inside of the studio to now and saying little things like, oh, we're going to get over this. This is just like a thing. It's just not as bad as the flu, blah, blah, blah. But then they're sitting 6 feet away inside the studio. Very telling, very hypocritical, but people don't really look at that and notice it and say anything about it. Like, how are they telling us it's not such a big deal? But they themselves are sitting in the studio 6 feet apart. The producers and them are wearing masks and
all
those kind of things.
All of them are vaccinated too. So
but they're telling you, hey, you ain't got you just go ahead and risk your life for patriotism, just all of that. Like if you risk your life, you're showing that you were proud to be an American. Or at least like you're that. You're doing that, right. And that's why I say it's very, whatever people are going to go by, they're going to go by. And we know the Republicans are hard to, no matter if we put that in their face, they're going to be looking like, but there's Tucker Carlson, but here's the facts, So Ben, I definitely give you an F for stating facts. Okay. Cause he was stating facts and that's about it.
Right. And William Moore sent a super chat saying it's sickening Tucker and Fox gets away with this. I'm not sure what their end game is. Is it to see how many people they can kill or narcissism?
Definitely narcissism. I don't really I've been killing folks forever. So
yeah, it's a game to them. And the fact is that the stuff that he's saying, if we don't combat it, even with what we have, our small platform and other platforms. And if people aren't aware of this is what your neighbor is thinking, because this is what your neighbor is listening to. We're going to find those people not getting vaccinated affects us very directly. Right. It's not one of those things where it's like, it's going to be a vote in Congress and we're having a big fight over it. And, if it happens, then, we just got to deal. No, this directly connects to whether or not we are going to be able as a country to come out of this pandemic anytime soon. Like Tucker is effing around with 2022. I do not plan on having a third birthday in this pandemic because, Rebecca, if I'm not mistaken, this is your second birthday coming up in the pandemic and my second birthday coming up in the pandemic. Tucker is effing around with us being in this thing through 2022 and 2023 because he's speaking to so many people that already want to believe it. Right. That's the other thing. He knows that what he's doing. He's just telling these people what they want to hear. We have somebody in our chat room this morning already saying that dumb shit. Like, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Right.
Like, we ain't got time for this because people are dying. People are dying. And if you don't want to get the vaccine, fine. But shut the hell up and be your own ignorant, non-scientific, dumb self, Tucker, and let the rest of us take care of the rest of us instead of you getting the vaccine because he's already vaccinated. He's not going to let anybody near him without a mask on. He's not going to go into any public setting and just chill without knowing that everybody there is vaccinated because he's got to live so he can keep making $10 million a year. But the rest of us, we have to suffer the ramifications of his sociopathy. This man is a sociopath. And so here we're dealing with this. And so it's 3 million people, y'all. That's 3 million households, not 3 million people. That's 3 million televisions. No telling how many people are actually like tuning into this. But this is why we see that there is now in this country, they don't believe that we will ever get to herd immunity. They don't believe that we'll get to herd immunity. In other words, we're never coming out of this pandemic. And who was that? The question was like, what's the end game? The end game, the end game is going to be a whole bunch of dead people along with the destabilized government. Like, Rebecca, we talked at the beginning of this pandemic, like this thing could go sideways very easily, much worse than it currently is. But and when you add on top of that, this kind of rhetoric that's going out, that's discouraging people from trying to end this pandemic, it is not a foregone conclusion that we will get back to normal. And with people with systems like Fox News and hosts like Tucker Carlson, they're talking to the vast majority or the biggest number of people of any news platform, and they're helping to make sure that we never come out of this pandemic. I'm just at a loss because these people are a threat to public health. Fox News is a threat to public health, and yet he gets a second show. He's on a second show. He does 2 shows a day now.
Really?
Yeah.
And he has the most slappable, Rebecca.
Sorry, because I was moving my chair. I don't want you guys to hear so much noise. But yes, it's because he's so powerful now. Tucker Carlson is, and they're feeding off of it. He's entertainment. He's misinformation, which is good for the Republicans. I mean, they're using their platforms. I told you, they're very smart when it comes to these things. To get the message out, they're going to jump on whatever they can to get the message out. Now, they're very smart when it comes to that. Don't get me wrong. They're dumb. For the people who follow them are dumb, just dumb. Literally dumb. They're going to take everything coming out of these people's mouths, no matter how wrong it may sound, no matter if it sounds like they're going to be putting their lives at risk or their kids' lives at risk. It's going to be something they do because Tucker Carlson said it. And we know this because when Donald Trump was president, anything that would fall out of his mouth, when this man said during a whole panoramic that to inject yourself with bleach. And folks was really pouring into the hospitals because they were injecting themselves with bleach. So
they had to make a public service announcement to say, please don't use bleach. Go ahead.
Yes. So no, this is what I'm telling you. People are dumb enough to follow these other people who play dumb on camera, but as soon as the cameras are shut down, they're living totally different lives, protected lives outside of the poor people that they're speaking to, outside of the working class that they're speaking to, even the rich folks that won't watch anything else but them. So the people who don't want to will just they're okay with being misinformed because it's coming from people who look like them and it's coming from their party. And the old heads, it's a specific, they conservative as they can be. They'll just focus on this because it's conservative. And it's really dumb, but that's really it. So
I just know. I don't even care if I win. It's on site, Tucker. It's on site, man. Cause you literally, I wonder if
just let us know where to pull up to.
Cause here's my thing. Like politicians, I always have this thing in the back of my mind. Like politicians, y'all be playing around as if the people can't come find you, right? Mm-hmm. Tucker is playing around like people can't come find him. And I'm not saying this to incite anything other than to say, if I had a platform that large, hell, with a platform the size that I have, I am very careful to not say things that can damage other people, because damaging other people, I still got to go out into these streets and they could pull up. That's how they're acting. They're acting as if they can kill people, because that's what Governor DeSantis is doing in Florida by lifting all the COVID restrictions. He's literally going to get people killed. Hell, that's what Donald Trump did, 600,000 people killed. The real question is why haven't people pulled up? Right? Why haven't people who have seen so many people die not pulled up on these politicians and these news broadcasters who are literally encouraging death? That's because these politicians really think they can get away with murder. And apparently, so far, they've gotten away with about 600,000 murders. But at some point, I fully expect, this is why I just try to tell the truth and just let it be what it's going to be. Because I fully expect that if something I have said, Tucker, contributes to the deaths of thousands of people, I expect one of their family members to come find me. So I just don't understand how he feels like he could get away with that. But
because he knows people are going to follow, Ben. This is right. What is, and it used to be hard for me to understand. I can't understand how, but then I'm like, we had Donald Trump for 4 years, and we didn't know in the beginning what it was going to look like, but we thought, oh gosh, if he does something stupid, people are going to and people are going to say, hey, that's dumb. I won't follow that.
But they didn't.
But then I forget that people are people. Okay. And lots of time people are dumb and they'll just follow whatever they can, no matter because they want to stay in racism, because they want to walk on white supremacy, because they'd rather, get misinformed than be informed because it's coming from a certain person that they don't like. It's simple as that. Yeah. So, I've heard people say, they don't like the message because of the messenger. And that's the thing. They will not accept a message, a word, okay, because of the person who's saying it. But let it come from Tucker Carlson's mouth. They'll eat it up like they'll take that word in like it's an evangelical telling them lies on the pulpit. Like that's what they do, though. That's exactly what they do. So
right.
Yeah.
Real quick, super chat. Want to read one real quick from Ben Kuto. Ben, if I said your name wrong, I apologize. Best crew in the progressive politics talk game.
Yeah, appreciate
Best
you.
crew. Yeah, we are.
Appreciate that.
Talk about it.
Hey. So Rebecca, it's going down here in Atlanta. Apparently, it is a big shock coming from Keisha Lance Bottoms. What's that all about?
So yesterday, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, a rising political star, released a statement and video last night making a surprise announcement that she will not run for a second term as mayor. So in her letter to Atlanta, Bottoms said, as Derek and I have given thoughtful prayer and consideration to the season now before us, it is with deep emotions that I hold my head high and choose not to seek another term as mayor. The mayor has also scheduled a press conference for 10 a.m. this morning. So
she's out of here.
She's out of here. But it's funny because in this quote that you guys pulled, it says it is with deep emotion. She didn't say what kind of emotion.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So you see what I'm saying? She didn't say what kind of emotion, what type of emotion. But here in Atlanta, there has been a lot of, and shouts out to Keisha Lance Bottoms, a FAMU graduate. I always have to make sure I say what I say to my fellow rattler. But there has been a lot of things going on that she's been doing beyond her macaroni that she cooked and everybody.
Oh God, that was the biggest.
Y'all gotta let that go. Right? Y'all gotta let that go because it probably was good. Not everybody's food is presented. It doesn't have the best presentation, but it's still.
But you don't. But listen. Some food is good and you don't show it on the internet. I make some stuff that is slamming, and I would never put it on the internet because it's not presentable. I do this thing called rice and eggs. Matter of fact, my wife cooked some this morning. It is an amazing breakfast, but it looks
Asians
like
been doing that.
No, we cook it different. We do a little seasoned salt, a little Lowry seasoning salt, a little sugar, a little, we make it a breakfast thing, but it looks a mess. Keisha Lance Bottoms, I don't care how good. How do we even get on this? The most important thing about
I mentioned it because I ain't.
The thing that matters is like she said, y'all can have this city.
She said, this is what she said. So I said that to say there are other issues going on within the city that people have been saying that she hasn't been, she hasn't been doing her best as far as taking a hold of it, and but I can't say that she hasn't done things that have been good. We've covered here on the show where she wants to eliminate anybody with drug testing for people as far as for marijuana to get jobs. And that was amazing. Although it won't be starting immediately, it may start after her term, and somebody may come in to her seat that may eradicate that. So I don't know. And I hope that doesn't happen, but she's been coming up with a few things, but how she's been handling a couple of things, like when, they were protesting in the city and, they were tearing stuff up. And I understand that she is the mayor in Atlanta. But, she was with the rhetoric like T.I. And that's because Atlanta is Wakanda and we shouldn't tear it up. But people were out there like, no, we're tearing all of this up because this means nothing to us, like the Black lives that the police officers take away from us, how they feel about those Black lives. You know what I mean? And whether or not I felt like, she was saying there was a lot of different things, emotions that I felt like she probably had and didn't get. I don't know. That part was a little eerie to me, but a lot of people called her out for that. I think that she knows that she just can't handle a lot that Atlanta is giving to her under these particular circumstances, that being protests, that being Atlanta police officers under fire for how they police, that being how the homelessness in that area, being jobs, that being the pandemic. So I think it's been a lot of pressure for her. But
she's
having to go toe to toe against Kemp. I remember that was such a big thing. But I didn't feel like she fought enough. But that's just me. But I don't know the position.
And I gotta disagree. I think she came in. Her going against Kemp was really big for her. She did go ahead and get the guy the officer that killed Rayshard Brooks. She did go ahead and signed off to have his ass go ahead fired. And of course they reversed that and they did say that it was, whatever. Yeah.
Justified.
But what I really think it is, I think she's seeking higher office because at one point she was on Biden's short list.
Right.
Let's not
That's
forget
true.
that. So I really think she may not be seeking this second term to seek a higher office or try to do something different.
Now that would be interesting. That would be.
I
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
The only thing about that though is that resigning or not seeking a second term is going to be considered as like a defeat. There's going to be considered as like she's resigning, even though that's technically not true. She's going to finish out her term, obviously. James, you could be absolutely correct, but I think it would be a stronger move for her if that's what she was doing. The stronger political calculation would be to not even say this and just run. And then people would assume that she's not going for that second term. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But if I'm curious if she is who I think she is, because if I was the mayor of Atlanta and I got in there hoping to change things, and then I realized that, holy crap, I can't change none of this stuff. I can't even
My voice
get
doesn't
this
matter.
this officer who killed Rayshard Brooks. I stood up against him and then it got overturned. Right. She's out here and she's having to go out there. I ain't gonna talk about her. I'm talking about me. If the city was burning because they killed a Black life, I would have got fired anyway, because I'd have been like, but she had to come out there and speak on behalf. Yeah, she had to come out here and speak on behalf of the system and protect the system and protect the property and stuff. So for me, the reason I would step away is because some of these political positions, they aren't worth what you got to give up in your soul in order to keep that job.
That could be another. That could be another thing too. So I see it on both sides of it. I do.
Yes.
So you're right, Bubba. Like she could be running for a higher position. That could be something. And Ben, I actually see it the way you see it. I feel like sis is tired. I feel like
You know what?
she is like,
and I see that too.
I cannot do this anymore. I got COVID fighting for y'all, and y'all laughed
stupid
at me saying I didn't, and yes, I was one of the people. I'm like, yo, how is she coming at people right now and speaking up against the people in the blackest city, telling them to stand down, go home when people are in pain about this particular thing.
You couldn't make me do that.
I had a certain I didn't like it, but like you said, Bubba, I mean, she did what she could. And Ben, yes, she was speaking for the system. This is why it's so important. And because she came in at a time where speaking for the system is still all we can do. Even because, like we said, just like 2-3 years ago, you still couldn't speak up. Right now, people are testing the waters, right? Yep. And they're able to take these to take the mic and say what they need to say, especially when it comes to people who look like them. And I'm talking about people of color, specifically Black people. So when I see people like Kamala Harris sit down with people and say that America is not racist, that to me is very telling. So that's why I say I understand when Keisha Lance Bottoms may want to step down, because she's like, I can no longer lick the boot anymore. I mean, this is not, I can't do this.
It ain't about that.
I'm a
Black
Rebecca,
woman.
I
gotta start. I need to be at the protest too. My kids is looking at me crazy.
Come on.
Yes.
That's me, man.
I feel that.
Come on. Because look, you ain't gonna get you. How many of us see? We'll see. Let's see what her next move is. That will tell us what the reason was. If she runs for a higher office, then it was just political ambition. If she goes back and does gets into the movement side of everything, then she's one of us who said, I thought I could change it through the system, and I realized very quickly. And good on her. If that's the case, that she realized quicker than a lot of other people, because sometimes you get in there and you work hard and you just keep going. And then you're 30 years in and you realize I haven't gotten anything accomplished. Keisha said, I'm 3 years in, and she's like, I'm out this piece. So, we'll see. Let's see. She said, hey, go ahead.
And before we go to break, but there are like 3 people that I see right now. I know that we had Nina Turner on our show, who to me is somebody who doesn't abide by systemic rules, and that's why they hate her. But she's literally what we need. Her unapologetic, her unapologetic moves. She's amazing. And then we have Corey Bush. This is someone who literally was on the ground as an activist, and then turns around and gets this congressional seat and is. Come on, like, we're looking at this woman who does not fear what the people say. She's standing on the Senate floor and saying stuff that nobody's ever said. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we have Maxine Waters, who's, in the last, decade, we've been, for us millennials who've been seeing more of her. And it's like, oh, has she always been like this in office? And then Isaiah, who comes on our show, Isaiah James, am I right?
James, yeah.
Yes, Isaiah James. Who comes. That is one unapologetic man that I really pray, hope, and gets that seat in New York, formerly of Shirley Chisholm. I would love for him to take that seat, and because of his unapologetic ways and how he is in the fight that he fights. And I mean, we need people who aren't afraid to look at them police officers and say, no, look at you, mad for nothing. You mad. Mad? You want to kill me, huh? I got you on video.
No, they actually do. So they actually do. You want to hear something funny real quick? Real quick. You said Maxine Waters, and you said for the past decade. I was watching Different World, and they gave her a shout out on Different World.
Really?
Really?
Well, I'm saying for me millennials, but I haven't seen that episode. Let me know, because I will find it.
I gotta go back and find it again. But it's like
generations, honey.
It's on. She's been on it.
Maxine's still here with her nails and with her red nails, and her nice wig laid to the side. Let me tell you,
she's been on there forever,
bro. To be messed with. She probably been messing with, she's been fucking shit up since God knows what. Like, she's been in there like, you shut up. You shut up.
See, that's what happens when I slip and say one word. Rebecca was like, we cussing today.
I need to say that because I'm like, she literally has been somebody
reclaiming her time.
Somebody paid for my curse words. I said two. Somebody drop it in the super chat.
Real quick,
read those super chats. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So Tiger says, remember I said I have asthma yesterday? If I catch COVID, I die. I have a whole comorbidity. I'm forced to work at a job with anti-masking, anti-vaxxing, COVIDs. Joe Biden has casted us vulnerable Americans to the wolves. Yes, indeed.
Tiger, man, we keep you lifted up, brother.
Yeah, Tiger, you're not
for real. From Take It Easy, he says,
smiley face.
That's it. How about that? In the chat. Then the other one we have from Andy. Let me get Andy's super chat.
From Ohio. Hey, Andy.
Andy says, good morning, best friends.
I love how she spelled it.
Later. Andy, P.S. Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody.
Hello, somebody.
We got one more as well, too. I got 5 on Rebecca Cussing from Killer Cuts. Okay, Killer
Thank
Cuts.
you.
Oh, just 1 and 2 says
I'm not cussing anymore.
Hey, and let me just say real quick that I love it when y'all two get to talking and like the passion is there. It just makes me love the hell what I do. I love y'all. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, we love y'all too, man. Hey,
thank you so
well,
much.
if y'all want to keep us loving each other and enjoying this every morning, go to patreon.com/like it or not and become a patron so that you can get access to the after party. Also, hey, this is a big announcement, and I haven't even talked to James and Rebecca about it, but we've been working on it in the behind the scenes. It's good. David has been David has been talking to you guys about it, our producer, but I haven't talked to you guys directly about it. But we're setting up the Like It or Not YouTube page. We already have a Like It or Not Facebook page. We already have a Like It or Not Instagram, but we're setting up Twitter? We just got to find the password for that one. But we're setting up the Like It or Not YouTube page, and we are going to, in June, between now and June, we are going to transition everybody who is watching us right now. You're going to be watching us live starting in June on the Like It or Not YouTube page. We're going to give us a month transition because we don't want there to be anybody left out. We just want to make sure that we're giving, Like It or Not is its own thing. It is its own thing, and it needs its own YouTube space, and it needs its own, all of that. We want to make sure that it is born and birthed properly and that it has everything that it needs to grow. So we're going to be making that transition starting next week. We will always be on the Benjamin Dixon Show channel until June. But in June, I need everybody to subscribe to that other channel, right? And I need everybody to be watching live on that other channel because we want to make sure everything is funneling and filtering in to Like It or Not properly. And so James, when you said that you enjoy the morning show, it just reminded me that, these are just the couple of more steps that we're going to take to make sure that the morning show is set up properly and has everything that it needs to continue going. Yeah. All right, let's take a real... Hey. Well, we only have 15 minutes left in the public show. Y'all want to just keep going with these stories? Y'all want to take a breather real quick? What y'all think?
I think we should take a breather real quick. I want Bubba to play something. It's Friday, and people deserve to hear some music. So,
plus I got some new patrons as well too. I need to read off. So,
do that. We'll be back with more Like It or Not right after this.
Good morning again, everyone. I hope that you're enjoying the show thus far. Make sure that you have your face in the place at the patron party. Oh, y'all heard me right? Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. Make sure that y'all have your face in the place tonight at the patron party, y'all. It's gonna go down officially, y'all. Let's get rid of some of these new patrons, y'all. New patrons, we have Kimberly B, John H, Noah M, we have Paul C, Cogro Man, Peyton H, Donna W, Francis R. New Twitch subscribers, we have Jamal Cito. Oh, what? Ophio Navernus. Thank you. Subscribe with Prime. Nikki John, subscribe with Prime. And Jay Putnam gifted 1 subscription. Thank you, everyone that has joined, the new patron. You too can also become a member as well too. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not, y'all. Before we get back to the show, gotta drop the gem on y'all. It's Friday. Here we go. I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Good morning to Mama and Daddy, y'all. Good morning, Sensation. Shout out to Bryce, Chuck Diesel. Pixie Moon, Purple Rain Hearts. Good morning, y'all. I see y'all. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're streaming from, and YouTube, y'all. Savage Sweetheart, good morning. Goku. Kamehameha. Melanie, good morning. Brother Lateef, what's going on, sir? Good morning. I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to ride it out. It's my time. It's my time to ride it out. It's my time. Whoa. S to the Dragon. I know I said there was no uniform, but look at that. We all black and white today. Mark S, good morning.
Still fly. Good morning. I'm still fly. I know. I'm still fly.
I'm still fly. Let's go.
Oh, we all off beat. Let the man sing. I'm gonna stop.
Right, look.
Like me.
Free Bub, this is the Free Rebecca song they said. Look.
Hey, this is our song, baby.
This the Get Ben Out of Depression song.
I like that too.
I like that a whole lot.
Say it with your chest down, say it.
I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me.
You off beat, Rebecca?
You are. I feel like I am though. It's my time to ride it out. I'm still off beat.
All y'all off beat, but it's okay. I'm the only one that song.
Ben, you too. I was like, Ben, I hear you. You're doing the runs great.
Let the man. I want to hear the man sing. Let the man sing.
They said, sing, Rebecca.
Ben don't want me to.
Picture of the Moon said, Ben, don't quit your day job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all, if you feel it, put the lions in the air. Can't nobody take me here and now.
I put raisins not in my potato salad, but I do put it in my tuna salad. Shout out to Publix.
What are you talking about?
Somebody said I put raisins in my potato salad, and I was like,
oh man,
I don't do that. But I
All
do
right.
it in my tuna salad.
DJ exclusive. Thank you so much.
No, cranberries. It's not raisins. It's cranberries.
Yeah, you can definitely put
In-
cranberries.
I mean, not in my
Yeah.
potato salad, in my tuna salad. My tuna salad, because
Oh, you can do
Publix
that.
makes really amazing tuna salad or chicken salad, excuse me. I keep getting it all mixed up because my mouth is watering and I'm thinking about Publix sandwiches right now. But Publix makes this chicken salad and it has cranberries in it. And I was almost embarrassed to tell someone that I ate tuna salad with cranberries in it because I
Why
felt
would you
like,
be? Yeah.
could I be a
Karen.
person that puts, a Karen who sprinkles in raisins in her potato salad? And I said, not me, but cranberries is an exception to the rule for me, because it gives my palate a roller coaster ride of flavors. I can say that. And
How do we
it
even get on that
meshes well
subject?
together.
Yeah,
Because somebody told me I put raisins in the potato salad.
Yes, Publix chicken salad. I love it. My mama makes, y'all, hand down, Gwen makes the best damn chicken salad you will ever eat in your life.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm trying to eat that. I don't eat everybody's food, but since you family,
I'm gonna mess with it. We're gonna rock with it. When she cooking something for everybody.
I don't know if you were in Atlanta. You remember when we did the Heritage Bowl '98? Were you were there? Still,
Yeah,
right?
I was here. Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man, Ben missed it. Mama
98?
bought a big ass bowl of it up to the hotel room. When I tell you,
Because you know where I was.
like 2 rooms. Oh yeah.
I was in Magic City in '98. The first thing I did when we hit the ground, and I was like,
I forgot.
pull up. Me and a whole bunch of other
people. 8 years old, guys. And
we were grown ass men.
We
were grown men doing grown things. Well, I thought you were gonna say craisins in.
You didn't go to Magic City, Bubba?
Now he was eating that chicken salad.
I mean, chicken salad and drinking.
Because Mama pulled up. Okay.
Boy, we look. I got a photo of us. You might be in that photo because we were in the hotel Heritage Bowl, Atlanta, '98, and man, we look hungry. We look abandoned. We look malnourished. We look just like. It was
kids
just,
with no homes, no family.
We looked a mess because that's how hard we were working. Man, we only have a few more minutes in this morning show. We want to cover a couple of more stories that are hitting across the nation. Professor Cornel West appeared on CNN with Don Lemon on Wednesday, and Lemon asked him about the quote assault on truth currently underway in the GOP, the Republican Party. Let's take a look at the first part of his response.
Everywhere you look, there's an assault on truth, whether it's a GOP operating on the big lie, the disinformation spreading through social media, the whitewashing of our racial history. Can you put this into perspective about how dangerous this is to our democracy?
Well, Brother Don, at the deepest of the literary artists in American history, Herman Melville used to say, truth uncompromisingly told will always have its jagged edges, which is to say truth is always unsettling, it's always unnerving, including ourselves. So no one group will ever have a possession of the truth, but there's a difference between wholesale lies and retail lies. Right now, the Republican Party is wrestling with a neo-fascist insurgency. So when you talk about Trump, he's not an isolated individual. The majority of white fellow citizens in America voted for him. So it's a movement, and it's based on wholesale lies, like white supremacist ideology, like attacks on Jews and Muslims and gays and lesbians, and the rule of big money and the rule of big military. Now, the Democratic Party has its retail lies. I mean, you had Brother Biden and Sister Harris talking about America's not a racist country. That's a lie. It is. Why did they have to tell that retail lie? Because that's a political strategy too. So that we have to keep track of the fact that truth is bigger than all of us, brother. And anybody who enters in the quest for truth has to be willing to be fallible enough to recognize the degree to which no one has full possession. But right now, the Republican Party, what Sister Liz is dealing with.
I'm sorry, y'all.
we done got bougie as hell.
Because
I can't let it keep playing at that quality. I can't.
We were literally in Inception. We're watching somebody on TV.
Oh man. We, and don't get me wrong. Listen, don't get me wrong. I've used those type of clips plenty of times, but it's just like
we don't do that in this day and age.
We're like it or not.
Look, as soon as it came on, we was like, what?
We said, what the hell is this?
Let's see, what the hell is this?
I bet you people in the audience was like,
he went to writing David.
I couldn't even remember I couldn't even listen to what the man was saying because it was like it was weird. Yeah. But let's see if we could. Let's shift gears. We are bougie.
I heard Cornel. I heard Dr. Cornel West.
Yeah, speak on it, Rebecca. What would you say?
So for me, he was definitely pointing out that when we allow the Republicans or the people on the far right to say whatever they're saying, it's an assault on the truth, basically. He was talking about the many ways it can be for transgenders, for people of the same sex, for Black people, for people, of color, for brown people, all of that. Mm-hmm. And that when they give these other people a platform, it becomes an assault on the truth. And that's for us who are the ones who are the truth tellers. And that's the only bit I was able to grasp. Somebody didn't understand.
Somebody in the chat room said that they thought they were expecting someone to get up and go use the bathroom. It's like
take us with them.
No, it's amazing because, like I said, listen. I've been doing this for 6 years, and when I was by myself for all those years, I would grab video from it. I didn't care who had it. I didn't care if it was an Android recording somebody else's video.
Oh yeah. We were working at that other place, and they had over 1 million views, over 1 million followers.
Yep.
Before 1 million
And
followers,
we were using that kind of thing. You're right.
People, and we were using that kind of footage.
Yeah.
Okay?
But it just shows that we here at Like It or Not want to bring you a higher level of content every single time. Now, to the
4K.
point of what he was saying, to the point of what he's saying is, we might as well run to the next story because but Dr. West, what he was saying.
Ben, what was he saying? Please. What was he saying, Ben? Please give it.
I couldn't really hear it, but I know it was the truth. Whatever he said, I know Dr. West was speaking the truth in what he was in DVD quality, not even DVD quality. He was in
that was VHS, baby. We had to take that. It was like when people record, they're recording, but they got the camera set up on the TV though. This is when the bootleg, when the man's out there like, hey, I got Medea for you. I got Medea. And then you see somebody walking across the screen. Stopping to look and be like, "Oh, my bad." And that's a part of your movie experience. And
hey, listen. And listen, no. Shout out to our producers who do an amazing job every day. Because, and I'm gonna drop this out there. I've been on other shows. Right, and they use that kind of that, but we got highfalutin over here.
We did. We were like, oh my God, the ghetto. The ghetto.
And because we don't. Somebody said it was a Nokia, bro.
It was the one that you play Snake on your phone.
That was a
it was getting.
That was a TI-85 quality, bro. That was a graphing calculator video. That's what that was. Oh my God.
Yes, it was.
That brought me joy this morning.
Back TV.
It was given the boombox you got to press play and record to get your favorite part of the song.
That was being old TV that he just before he replaced it.
Just replaced, bro.
It was given when we have to send our family members voice notes to Haiti, and we got to record it and send it off, and it take like 2 weeks to get to Haiti.
Tunde, it's good, man. We enjoyed it. We're having a good time. Like, obviously, we're laughing at ourselves. We're having a good time at our own expense.
Love you, David. Man. It's not you. No shame. Nothing.
Oh no! Anytime we get a somebody said chirp.
Where you at?
Okay.
Where you at? I remember when Ludacris used to do them commercials. Listen.
No, bro, what you doing?
And what's again? Y'all could probably go back just 7 months and find a whole bunch of videos of me doing covering stuff like that.
It was giving Pink Razor phone.
Oh my goodness! I think everybody needed. Okay. But shout out to Dr. West because I know whatever he said, it was the absolute truth. That was just.
Yes. I mean, honestly, yes. No, seriously,
Let's see how we do with this one. Okay. Idaho bans critical race theory. I can't. Hang on a second, y'all.
Let's get it out.
Okay. No, this next story is actually just as important as the last story. I know we're having a good time at our own expense, but there is a movement that's happening in this country that is intentionally trying to push back against the narrative that America is a white supremacist nation and founded on white supremacy and has a history deeply rooted in racism. There is no historical question about that. That is a factual piece of evidence that we have plenty of historical accounts to back up. That said, Idaho is banning critical race theory in schools. Idaho's governor, Brad Little, signed a bill into law that aims to restrict critical race theory from being taught as a subject in schools and universities. Since the publication of the 1619 Project in the New York Times, a number of school districts and school boards across the U.S. have begun to adopt elements of critical race theory in their curricula. Bills to ban or restrict the teaching of critical race theory and other subjects deemed "quote unquote" divisive have been drafted into law in Iowa, Louisiana, Missouri, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, West Virginia, and other states. In other words, they are so terrified of the history of this country being told from the perspective of the people who were oppressed by this country that they are now making laws against that. I gotta repeat it. They are so terrified of the history of this country being told by the people who have been oppressed by this country that they are actually making laws to ban it. this is where we are. And this is what Dr. West in that last clip was essentially saying. Like, this is a cohesive movement around the country that's rooted in racism, white supremacy, and fascism. And they are attempting to control who tells the history. And here until this point, if everybody watching this, Rebecca, you and James, all of us know the history of this country that we're taught in school is absolutely a whitewashed, watered down version that makes it seem like slaves were happy.
To this day, if you do not have, if you didn't get the experience of going to an HBCU outside of going through your early education from K through 12, and you didn't have a black teacher in school who decided to go against the grain in school to teach you guys black stuff or black history or real history, I can say. And usually real history puts black people at the forefront of a lot of things. Yeah. And they don't like that. They don't like that at all. Or people of color at the forefront of a lot of things. And they do not like that. They want to keep it whitewashed. And, if you didn't have that, where you were able to break out of that systemic, those systemic ideas, systemic ways, systemic conversations, talking points. When I got to FAMU, they were like, as soon as you sat, no matter what course you had, they were stripping that from you little by little. And then by the time you ended that first semester, you were like, wait, everything that I learned, I had to unlearn so that I can learn this and look at myself and say, I am part of history here in America. I'm part of history in the Caribbean. The history is so different than what I was taught about myself here by white teachers and by white educators, even black educators who were taught to say those talking points and who were taught to say those things. I mean, some places in Haiti still consider in books that they give to kids, they say, Columbus founded Haiti. So they have ripped those. Some schools are taking those away now because, they're like, we don't have to go by this, the colonized view anymore. We can actually teach these children what the truth is. And I think that they're afraid, like Idaho, those schools and those places are afraid of terrified any of those things. So at this point, I think it's our duty. That's why let me tell you something. When I have my little big head kids, because my kids gonna have big heads, long faces. When I have those children, I am going to make sure that I go up to the school, see about these teachers. And if I don't see no teacher that look like me, and then if I can't have that one-on-one with that teacher and ask them what their curriculum is looking like for my child and what my child will be learning, I need to know if Columbus is in this. Because if he is, my kid will not be in your course. My kid will not be in your class. Because I know some stuff now. Mama knows some stuff now. So I'm going to make sure that my kid is not learning things that I had to unlearn. So
I was just thinking, somewhere in the middle of the pandemic, I was talking to my sisters who are all teachers. And I'm like, the number one thing that we have to do as black people is we got to stop letting this system teach our kids. Now, I know that's easier said than done. And that talks about having to create an entire,
kids being at home.
we got to create this entire infrastructure. You got to create schools. You got to, and it's far-fetched. But the fact of the matter is we can't allow this. And it's not just, honestly, it's not just black kids. Like white folks, your children are being taught that America is this perfect nation. And they're being taught to trust this system and to obey all of the laws, even if those laws are being brought down by people like Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham in the Senate, or Matt Gaetz, right, who's facing sexual assault allegations from Florida, like in the House of Representatives. Like, those are some of the folks making these laws. And then on the state level, you have school boards who are so ignorant that they're actually out there talking about they're anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers. So we have our children being taught by people that absolutely do not have our best interest in mind. And so how could we send our children out to systems? I know why we do it. We have to do it right now because we don't have an alternative. This is not to criticize anybody for sending their kids to school because, well, we got to do what we got to do. But we got to be fully cognizant of the fact that these schools are they are propagandizing our children. They are brainwashing our children with so many ahistorical pieces of propaganda that we can't even keep up with it. There's even a curriculum. I will never forget. I think it was about 4 years ago, James and Rebecca, that they had they started teaching that slavery was immigration. That people immigrate, like it was a form of immigration. It was a form of like people decided, like this is the language they put in a history book in grade school.
Jesus.
And I'm like, they would rather have that taught. The idea of the happy slave, the indentured servant that was happy to be here because we were being civilized by these colonizers, right? We were barbarians in Africa, and so they came and they forced migration and gave us a better life. This is the type of things that they want us to be taught. But if we talk about critical race theory, they will literally make laws to outlaw it. That's
like the whole idea of Thanksgiving and how they made us think that the Pilgrims and all that, they blended together and they were thankful for the food. But y'all was murdering them people for they land. And it was not a Thanksgiving feast because of the goodness that you guys are talking about for them to be. You guys were killing people that already were here. Yes. And this was their ground, their blood, sweat, and tears. Their children's children were supposed to be raised here. They lived amongst, the environment. And then y'all came and then forced us Black folks to create an environment for y'all to live in.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Genocidal maniacs. Christopher Columbus was a murderous, raping, genocidal piece of scum, feces maniac who absolutely came here as he was the savage. Okay. The narrative that they won't taught in schools in Idaho is that Christopher Columbus was a hero. And he came to America and civilized the savages. Christopher Columbus, along with all those colonizers, they were the savages. And that is what we're in right now. And it blows me away that there's an entire, the Native Americans, the indigenous people here, they have seen a barbaric empire rise on their bones in their land. Black folks in this country have had to help build this barbaric empire with our blood and our bones. It's our bones that are in this ground. We've been here longer than most white people. The average white person, if I read correctly, has only been here 3 generations. Hell, I can go back 5 by myself, and that's only 6 by myself. And that's the only reason I can't go back further is because they didn't have any records. Why? Because they were slaves. So we are being taught in these schools the exact opposite. And in response to the 1619 Project, which gives the foundation for critical race theory, these descendants of savages are starting to make laws to outlaw our ability for the people who have been oppressed by this country to tell the real history of this country. That's what they're trying to do. So...
and that ain't no good. They ain't trying to do no good.
Right. They a mess in there. Y'all, we got range. We can go from the complete ridiculously, we can't even hold our giggles, to giving
like
the
kids.
No,
to
man.
really being passionate about these certain kind of things. And it's funny you said that our bones are literally what built what's in the ground, what's all of it. It's interesting because, some Spaniards went over to Africa, dug up in this particular area the bones of a 3-year-old that are said to be, I believe, if it's not 80,000 years old, it's 800,000 years old in Africa. And they called it motu, and I think that means like bones or something like that. And they tried to excavate it, and it turned into dust. So they had to create concrete around it and remove it. But guess what? They took it. They took it to Spain. Colonize, don't colonize. Leave them home where it's at, because y'all take it over there. That spirit of that 3-year-old boy, that 3-year-old whatever, like it's going to come and attack you. Trust and believe. Ancestors are not going to play about that. Y'all keep taking artifacts, things that don't belong to y'all out of these different countries so people can come and make a mockery out of and point out of. Some things are sacred. And that's one thing that Christopher Columbus didn't understand. That's why, we have all this stuff. White folks ain't never going to be okay with themselves because that's what they were taught not to. That's why colonization happened, because they were never okay with themselves. So they were taught. So then they wanted to put put that on us. And I think, and that's project.
Their savagery.
I think that was something that is they got to deal with inside. That's something they got to sit on somebody's couch about, because now we are coming out of that. They thought that was going to be a forever thing for us, but a lot of us are coming out of that and loving our Black and rejecting their teachings and becoming more in tune with who we are and happy with who we are. That's why we have shows like It or Not, because we're tired of sitting and speaking for them and speaking systemically. Although we look like the people that we were reporting on, we could not say how we felt, and that is no longer a thing for me. I can say so. God bless America.
Right.
Proud to be an American.
Got a couple of super chats. Okay, utter bullspit. Luckily for me, I went to school here in the Metro Atlanta area. Shout out to ATL, and I had plenty of pro-Black teachers that taught us about Black culture and the real history of America. I was lucky in that way. Yeah, for real.
Yes.
And that's true too. I went to school here, actually down the street from where I am now, and we had a lot of Black teachers. Granted, they were still teaching that rhetoric in classroom, but thankfully for those other teachers that you grow that bond with, they kept it real and they talked to us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So real quick,
go ahead.
No, well, real quick before we get out of here and you read those last ones, Ben, could you shout out the teacher that gave you your make sure they instilled in you the right, the truth, your Black teacher that did that for you?
I just got to think. My father.
It's been so long. Your father, okay.
Yeah, my father never let a day go. We stay rooted and grounded. I don't believe I had a single grade school teacher who did that for us, but my dad did it for me. And then I went to HBCU and it was everywhere. It was
love that
it was
too.
all the professors.
And so shout out to BCC. That you guys went to. Y'all didn't go to BCU, but Bubba, do you know the name of the teacher that taught you possibly from the K through 12 grades, instilled something in you?
Mama and Daddy really did, just coming up, how they did come up, they were, oh my gosh, we were just talking to Mom the other day and talking about how she had to walk 3 miles to school and they had outhouses and all of this stuff. It's like, my God, says, but they kept it real with us. And then my grandmother, Ethel Jefferson.
Shout out to the grandma.
Lady.
Ethel Jefferson. Now that is a grandmother's
name. That's a name, baby. Yeah. Now you know she was fly. Ethel, hey. I like that.
Okay, that's Mama's side of the family, the Jeffersons. So yeah.
Oh, I like that.
What about you, Becca?
For me, I will say, besides, my parents, my dad, who definitely made sure that he instilled that in us, but he also had to teach us a systemic way so that we wouldn't get bullied and things like that. Yeah. So that we can be able to be on both sides of it, right? But it was my teacher and Mr. Days, Elliot C. Days. Hate to put your whole name out there, but he was a Florida A&M.
Full name.
He was a Florida A&M grad, and he was from St. Louis, Missouri, and he was supposed to be teaching us economics, y'all. But this man would have us watching movies like John Singleton's Baby Boy. And make us he would make us literally watch it. Then we had to dissect the whole movie and talk about what we got from it and how that made us, think about relationships in the Black community and what, all kinds of things. And then he taught us about Black relationships and about Black love. And then he said, I want you guys to go visit Black schools because you guys are, about to graduate and they're going to send you off to white schools to go look at. I need you guys to focus on Black schools. He talked about the history of things. And he said, okay, I know this is an economics class. I'm going to teach y'all about money and how to spend it, how to save it, how to move it, how to all of that. And then he was like, but the history of where you guys come from, I need you guys to really understand this as your history. Rebecca, you're Haitian. Do you know how important it is about your history? Hey, you're from where? Mississippi. Do you know what your history is? Like he went down the road. We had one girl in our class that happened to be Black, and she's from Australia. And he would tell her, do you know the importance of the Aboriginals? And he was just going in and teaching us. And we would be so focused on everything that he said. And because of him, I went to Florida A&M University because of him. And that was the best decision I ever made. So shouts out to Elliot C. Days, Mr. Days, I love you, who never tied his shoelaces and who loved to sing in the classroom Luther Vandross. So love you, mean it.
She know this band.
Those are always the teachers that have the biggest impact on your life. And that's dope as hell, Rebecca.
Yeah.
The other teacher I had, I'm going to be honest with you, it was It was the fact that America wouldn't let me live, man. Like because I was properly indoctrinated with all this American BS, the American dream BS. We had to stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance every single day. I know all of us did. And it just came to a point where I'm like, y'all can't. And I realized this, I ain't even gonna lie. I realized this like by the fifth grade. By the fifth grade, I had so many racist teachers that I refused to stop. I refused to say the Star Spangled the Pledge of Allegiance, and they wanted me to. And it was it was like. But then by the time I got out in college and in like when I left Bethune-Cookman and I went to a predominantly white institution after that, it was just pure indoctrination without any grounding in the Black experience. And I'm just sitting back like, y'all want me to believe this?
And once you go Black, you can't go back to that learning.
But especially when we were getting pulled over every other day in Daytona, like they couldn't tell me that there wasn't something wrong in this country. So my biggest, and I think this is a lot of Black folks' experience and a lot of poor folks' experience. My biggest lesson that I learned came from the hard knocks of living in America. And that's why it's like, I don't care what laws they pass to try to ban critical race theory or whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, y'all keep killing us. And we know better. At the end of the day, y'all keep robbing us. Y'all keep exploiting us. And we're going to put two and two together. Whether or not you teach it in school, you're going to get a better education out in the streets because America won't let you live without every single day realizing that something in this country got to change. That's where I am. So anyway, we got a couple more.
Go ahead.
You
said something right there. Go ahead.
Antoine Simpson said, "These Karens and Kens can't handle the truth." Let me see. Then Laura Estrada, thank you for letting me be a part of such amazing, truthful conversations. Laura,
thank you for being here. We didn't let you be a part of it. This is an open. This is an open forum. Come and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Don't come with no pettiness though.
Right. Scott Fleming, Ben, you have been like a teacher to me this past year, and I thank you for the lessons.
Wow.
That's
dope.
Dope.
Appreciate your fam. Appreciate that.
I love that.
That's
respect.
real shit.
That's
though,
love.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben has been my teacher too. What you talking about?
Okay. What, Rebecca? Right.
Let me tell you. Talk about it.
He said, my history teacher in high school had us watch almost all the episodes of Roots.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Roots.
Well, that's where my father was the biggest teacher, because there would not be a time. Like, I learned about Thurgood Marshall because my dad made me sit down and watch the movie when I was in third grade. I learned about the Kunta Kinte because my mother made me sit down and watch Roots in about the third grade. And it's just like, when we are in this, we are locked in, and folks, I don't want to get too heavy. We're going to go to the after party and we're going to party tonight, but we are in the biggest empire in the history of the world that has the greatest propaganda machine in terms of television as well as its education system. And they are designing the system to make sure that people like us never understand the truth about what happened before we were born. And sometimes it is such a hermetically sealed bubble. I mean, in other words, growing up in Mississippi, if I didn't get it in the streets, if I didn't get it from my father and my mother, and if I didn't get it from like our church, because our church was radical, if I didn't get it outside of the system, we would never have gotten it at all. And so it is incumbent upon us to make sure that as they are fighting back against critical race theory, we just keep telling the truth every single day to everybody we can. And if it is something as simple as sitting down and watching a movie that at least gives you the foundation. Like, a lot of people criticize the Judas and the Black Messiah, but let me tell you something. That movie, while it was not perfect, I guarantee you it radicalized somebody. So if you don't have any other method of teaching people than showing them Malcolm X, that movie really radicalized me when I was 12. What you talking about? When that brother turned around and the guy said, "That's too much power for one man to have," and Denzel Washington just turned around and pointed. Boy, that thing set something off in me. So I just encourage everyone, do not depend on this system to teach you or your children, because if you allow it, then they will turn you into a right-wing conservative. That's what they want from you.
Ooh, we
That's
could just
it.
talk all day, but somebody said love your talking, but we love the music too. That means that they looking for Bubba. Okay,
They looking for Bubba. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's transition. I tell you what, let's do it like this. Oh, we're not even on that channel yet. I was gonna get in trouble. I was about to recommend something we're not doing yet. All right. So let's go over to the after party. Patreon.com/like it or not. Be sure to go over the link to the Like It or Not YouTube page is in the chat. David will post it, and we want you to go over there and to subscribe. And then everyone else, let's go to this after party. And if you are a patron, or if you're a Twitch subscriber, whatever you listen to us on, meet us tonight at 8:30 Eastern, and we are going to have a Q&A. And after that, we're going to dance the night away. That's all I got. Rebecca, what you got?
I won't be there dancing the night away with you guys, but I will be there for the Q&A. And I hope that you guys are there so that I can see your beautiful faces. If we're going to be seeing faces, because it's going to be on Zoom, right? So yeah, I can see your beautiful faces or hear you guys with your questions. And, let's have a good time. And, let's just have a good time. Love y'all guys. Mean it.
Hey, James.
Mean it.
The floor is yours, man. Give them the last word and then give them some music because they looking for that.
Okay. Love y'all. Thank you so much again. Y'all keep on supporting. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. Love y'all. And I'll see y'all on Monday if we don't see you at the after party.
Boys like you every dinner. I don't believe what you preach. You're just a rookie beginner. Hang out with boys in the streets. Like that will make you a winner. I don't believe what I see. Why you wear